The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ryan Garcia defeated Mario Barrios on February 22nd by unanimous decision. He finally won his major world title. He's the WBC welterweight champion now because the fight he fought against Devin Haney, he missed weight that fight. And even if he didn't miss weight, he failed a drug test. So he finally won his first world title. And Garcia set the tone early, just 30 seconds into that first round. He dropped him with that sharp overhand right. I'm like, all right, I know what time he's on now. But the fight didn't play out like that for the remainder of it because Barrios recovered, but he just kind of looked thrown off once he got dropped like that. And he struggled with Garcia's speed and he couldn't find his rhythm. And Garcia is known for that left hook, but he was using that jab instead, and he was using that right cross. And then for basically rounds 2 through 10, Garcia was dictating that pace, and he was using that footwork, using those combos, and he kept Barrios on the defensive side of things. And then kind of in those last 2 rounds, Garcia kind of coasted, but the fight was already in the bag, and he was able to secure that title. What are your thoughts on this one, Chris?
And Garcia was so confident this whole fight. I mean, he's always a confident fighter, but man, when he got that knockdown, it was like the light, like he knew he was going to win this fight. Right. And I was very impressed with his stamina. Stamina was there all throughout the fight. He was throwing a lot of punches. Like we used to the check hook. He threw more than just a check hook. The jab was coming out. The cross was coming out. The overhand right was coming out. I mean, he was throwing a lot of power punches. And to be honest, Garcia didn't look that bigger than his opponent that fight. So to see him coming in there, giving up maybe an inch or two and body frame didn't seem stronger, he was in there throwing some heavy punches. It was like everything was with bad intention. Really, honestly, all his punches was thrown with bad intention. He wasn't setting up nothing. Everything that came through the middle was all power punches. And it looked like his opponent could not handle the pressure. And Garcia just looked, strong, calling out Stevenson, almost called out me, but, he stayed away from that. But, shout out to Garcia, man. He looked good.
Yeah, I don't think Garcia wants that smoke. What are your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Mine is the fresh. It's not fresh on my mind but from what I remember, like you said, that first knockdown literally was the tail of the fight to where, you get that first knockdown, that other fighters just really probably not even mentally talking about points. You're taking mental notes, like I got to get my hit back, and I mean, based off the rounds kept going, how much you got to catch up, like 2, 3, 5, 10. Like, damn, I got to catch up with 10 good punches to keep up with the score. And Garcia was just delivering on him. Better shot selection. If I'm not mistaken, a good selection of body shots, too, digging in the body after a combo. Barrios, I mean, it's hard to compare. I mean, Pacquiao did good, but, damn, he looks, prestige with Pacquiao, and just look with Garcia. I think it was just a little gap of a now generation in the past. And maybe, I don't want to take away his talent, but maybe he wasn't fighting the caliber. I can't think of the caliber of people. And just for joking purposes, maybe he cut off his hair, man, like Samson. I saw him in the fight. I'm like, damn, did he have long hair? But I don't know Barrios like that. I'm like, maybe it's the haircut he got. I don't know. He had braids before this.
I mean, we talked about Barrios' last fight when he fought Pacquiao, and that was a draw against a damn near 50-year-old Pacquiao. So maybe he's losing his confidence a little bit, Steve.
Or maybe his confidence got falsely boosted after Pacquiao and came in there with a mindset. I feel like that's happened to a lot of fighters, not to drift off from boxing, but certain people who fought John Jones and did good, kept that mentality, just got beat because thought you did something against a veteran or was close, and then you kept that with you and you got destroyed with a younger fighter. It just throws off the measuring system, so to speak.
But I think Mario's going into that Pacquiao fight, I don't think he was happy to be there. It was expected of him to wash the floor with him because he was going into it thinking he was facing a washed up Manny Pacquiao, and I feel like his confidence would be kind of taken away because he's supposed to win that fight easily. He was like a heavy favorite in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe, and he had to drop the fight before that too. So I don't know, maybe. Yeah, his confidence is shaking up a little bit. I don't know your thoughts on that, Steve.
Oh, probably so, because although these are all good fighters, and I'm not saying any of them are trash. I mean, but Rolly Romero beat Garcia, and I don't think Romero's a bum, but like, how good is Barrios if he can't beat Garcia and Romero's getting beat from time to time, right? And beat Garcia.
Yeah, Rolly Romero lost to Tank Davis, of course. Everybody loses Tank Davis, but he lost to Pitbull Cruz too.
To me, that's just a little smirk on your record right there, just as far as the type of person you lost to give Barrios some type of litmus skill test of where he is. Like I factor in the Romero wins, what he should have won, and just to scale him. If you can't beat him, then and Romero beat him, I mean, where are you in the skill set of these people?
Yeah, I just don't really see that killer instinct from Barrios. And I mean, Garcia's finally living up to what people expected him because he was basically like, he wasn't like on the level of Jake Paul, but he was like almost like a social media pro fighter. He wasn't like one of the social media turn boxers, but he's gone viral a lot and known as a pretty boy, and people were expecting him to probably win this title maybe a little bit sooner, but he's finally living up to expectations. You think he can keep his head on straight, Chris, and keep this momentum going?
Gotta keep him fighting again. I mean, you only leave him out the ring for like maybe 3 months and get him back in the ring to keep him back to fighting. But I think he's building off his confidence right now. This is a big win for him. His last fight he lost, right? He lost not Pitbull.
Rolly Romero.
Does David Haney give him a fight back? Does Haney give him a rematch?
So during this fight, the Navarrete fight, you had Haney talking in between rounds. I think he talked after the night round. He said that's the fight he wants. He wants to fight Garcia next.
Yeah, because regardless if he got a 0 there, we all saw what happened. Meds, no meds. The image is in my face on him losing that fight. So he got to redeem it regardless of whatever they found. I saw the image, and that's what that's why they gave him back to 0, because the damage is done. But they got to run that back.
Well, no, you can't just brush away to the side that he was on meds and he missed weight. I feel like that's literally an advantage if you on the juice and you miss weight.
I mean, that's part of I don't like the med part, but missing weight. I mean, fighters do that all the time. What are they gonna say? Oh, find me, right? That's not professional. But I think this gave him confidence. Haney didn't look good in the fight. Weight or no weight, or there's still some skills that got to be there, and he didn't look good throughout the fight at all. With Garcia. So yeah, it didn't look good. So at the end of the day, we'll see if the meds or anything, the weight had a big difference. But I got in the ring and I destroyed you last time. So and Haney remembers that. So we'll see if he goes in that ring and shows a different Haney. But last time I checked, Garcia in his mind, like, I beat you, so I'm gonna beat you again. And I did what I did. You can't stop the check hook. So,
I think Haney looked good in his last 2 fights. The Times Square fight, the same one that Garcia lost on, Haney against Ramirez, and then last one against Brian. I think he looked real good against Brian Norman Jr., but Brian Norman Jr., I don't think he's on that level. He's not on that level, yeah. So I'm guessing you're saying a rematch would go the same way as the first fight, Chris.
Unless they show me something different. I'm traumatized of what I saw in the first fight, so they gotta show me something different.
What do you think will happen, Steve, in a rematch of Devin Haney and Garcia?
I think the seed's already implanted of the loss. Even if you did blame it on the enhancements, you're still thinking of like, well, how much did that help him? And how much does he still have talent to still be? All that gets in your head, especially when you lost to somebody in that fashion. I think that Garcia has more of an advantage mentally coming into this fight than Devin Haney, definitely.
You think he has an advantage just because of the first fight?
Yeah, because if we would have saw Garcia lost, then we can say, oh, he's decreasing, or in which he overcame, Rolly Romero loss. But if he would kept on losing, we would say it was because of steroids. But he's staying consistent with good fights and winning them, to where we're starting to see, okay, this is 2 fights in, 1 loss, bounce back with a win this one few weekends ago. How much was it, the steroids?
What do you mean, how much? Like the CCs that he was using?
Well, I think what he's trying to say is we see him lose a Tank. He fights you next. He beats you. Okay, he was on the juice. Cool. We see him lose again. Then we see him win again. So we can't even really judge Garcia right now where he's at. Right? We're trying to figure out where he's at. So how much was it really on the meds of him beating you, or did he actually beat you? Like, we don't even know right now. Like, it's still Garcia is one of those fighters right now, which is really good for him right now. Like, he can really sell the fight. It don't matter no more. Like, if he wins or lose, he can sell this fight. It's not about the records for him. So he's in a really good situation where we don't know. All right, he lost. Did he lose? Or did he lose because, or did he win because he was on the meds? But we saw Garcia beat this guy. So how much was that because of the weight in the meds, or how much of that he actually beat him because of talent?
The world will never know. Like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? I don't know, because who knows? I don't think he's popped hot before that. I don't think he's popped hot since that. But what if he's like, I need this extra boost to beat Haney, so these drugs I'm taking are gonna help me train harder and give me that little extra oomph that puts me over the edge? Because it wasn't like he didn't stop him. I think it was like I think he did drop him a few times in that fight.
Dropped him a few times though.
So maybe that extra little meds that he took helped him, get the little upper hand on him. So who knows? There's no way of quantifying it. But hey, cheating is cheating, man. And so I'm curious to see what happens in a rematch, because I think Haney might get him, man. Not stop him, but I think Haney will learn. Haney's a smart fighter. I think he might.
Really smart.
I think he might download the information and get Garcia, but I don't know. One last thing before we get out of here. You think Garcia is just putting on the show? Because he seems to be talking a lot about religion in his interviews, and then in the same breath, he'll drop a couple curse words. So you think it's just like an act, or you think he's really got his shit together, Chris?
I don't know. He might struggle for some mental health. It's not uncommon for people to have mental health. And for him, he might have a little bit there and here. He has to be a little crazy to be put on some gloves and go fight against somebody. You got to be a little crazy to be a warrior like that. So there's got to be something with you. But, I just hope he gets the best help he can, and I hope he got the right people around him to get him there. And like you said before, cheating is cheating. So I don't condone him cheating. But, we see the check look good this time. We saw what it did against Haney. So I don't know. I'm kind of with, Haney might not have the mental upper hand in this one. He might have to really go in there and prove to himself that he can win. I think Haney got to prove to himself that he can beat him.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they'll probably have that sometime third quarter. Hopefully they get that done. And I don't know. I might change my mind a few times before the fight gets put on the books, but it'll be interesting. And like I said, I like to see fighters thrive. So hopefully he doesn't get into the shenanigans. Saw what he said, some stuff he said years ago and stuff, and said some wild stuff in the past. So I know he's got a kid. So sometimes kids make you grow up. So we'll see what happens with Garcia going into the future. Thank you for checking out this Haymaker Combat Sports segment. This full episode could be found on the Haymaker Combat Sports YouTube page and in audio form on all major podcast platforms. Until next time, peace.